Ross, he's your son. The elevator doors sealed shut. Ross Callahan stood frozen, his heart slamming against his ribs. The woman in front of him, the one he thought he'd never see again, held a small boy against her chest. A boy with his eyes, his jaw, his everything. Victoria's fingers tightened on his arm. His phone buzzed in his pocket. And the elevator? It wasn't moving anywhere. Welcome to Residential Stories. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from right now? And please, stay until the very end because this story is going to grip your heart and not let go. The morning had started like any other for Ross Callahan. Tailored suit, coffee in hand, board meeting at 9. He stepped into the elevator of Skyrise Tower with Victoria beside him, her designer perfume filling the small space, her manicured hand resting on his arm like she owned it. Ross was mentally reviewing the quarterly projections when the elevator stopped at the 23rd floor. The doors opened. A woman rushed inside, breathless, clutching a child. She barely made it before the doors closed. Ross glanced over, irritated at the interruption. Then his breath stopped. Lena, 3 years. 3 years since she vanished from his life without explanation. 3 years of unanswered questions. She looked different now. Tired. Stronger somehow. Her curls were wild from the wind. Her clothes simple. Her posture that of a woman who had fought battles no one else witnessed. But it was the child that made Ross's world tilt. The boy lifted his head from Lena's shoulder. Big brown eyes. Curious. Innocent. Ross knew those eyes. He saw them every morning in the mirror. Lena, he said. Her name felt foreign and familiar at once. Victoria's head snapped toward him. You know her? But Ross couldn't answer. He was staring at the boy, watching the child study him back with an intensity no 3-year-old should possess. Lena's voice was steady. Ross, this is Isaiah. Isaiah. The name echoed in his mind. How old is he? 3. The math was instant. Brutal. Undeniable. Victoria laughed nervously. Ross, what exactly is happening right now? Before anyone could speak, the elevator shuddered. The lights flickered. Then everything went dark. Isaiah cried out. Victoria screamed. And somewhere above them, metal groaned under strain. The emergency light clicked on, bathing them all in a dim red glow. They were stuck, suspended between floors. Ross steadied himself against the wall, his eyes locked on Lena and the child she held protectively against her chest. Lena, he said, his voice barely controlled. Is he mine? She met his gaze. No hesitation. No games. Yes. The word hit him like a physical blow. Victoria gasped beside him, but Ross barely heard her. Why, he demanded. Why didn't you tell me? Lena's jaw tightened. Because someone made sure I couldn't. Victoria stepped forward, her voice sharp. Oh please. This is obviously some kind of scam. She's lying, Ross. Anyone can see that. Lena didn't even look at her. She kept her eyes on Ross, her arms wrapped around Isaiah, shielding him from the tension filling the cramped space. Ross took a step closer. Who stopped you? Lena's voice dropped. You remember when your father had his stroke? When the board was trying to remove you? Ross nodded slowly. That year had nearly destroyed him. He'd almost lost everything. His position, his company, his sanity. Someone sent me a message, Lena continued. They said if I told you about the baby, you would lose it all. Your company, your inheritance, your father's legacy. They said I would destroy you. Ross felt cold. Who sent it? Lena's eyes flickered toward Victoria, then back to him. Your mother. The elevator creaked. Isaiah whimpered, and Ross felt the ground shift beneath everything he thought he knew. Victoria's voice cut through the silence. That's ridiculous. Your mother would never do something like that. This woman is clearly manipulating you. Ross ignored her. He crouched down slowly, bringing himself to eye level with the small boy hiding in Lena's arms. Hey buddy, he said softly. Can you look at me? Isaiah peeked out, uncertain. His little fingers clutched Lena's collar. Ross studied the boy's face. The shape of his eyes. The stubborn set of his jaw. The way his eyebrows drew together in concentration. It was like looking at a photograph of himself at that age. What's your favorite color? Ross asked gently. Isaiah's voice was small. Blue. Ross smiled despite everything. Mine too. The boy relaxed slightly. You're really tall. Ross laughed, and the sound surprised even him. Yeah, you will be too, I bet. Victoria made a frustrated noise. Ross, you cannot seriously be falling for this. A DNA test. That's what we need. Proof before you throw away everything for some random woman and her child. Ross stood slowly. She's right about one thing. Victoria's eyes lit with triumph. We need a DNA test, Ross continued. Today. He pulled out his phone and started dialing. But Victoria's satisfaction vanished when she heard him speak. Dr. Chen, I need an emergency paternity test. Private. Discreet. 1 hour. I'll pay whatever it takes. The elevator lurched again. Isaiah cried out. And this time Ross moved instinctively, positioning himself between the child and the doors. Lena met his eyes over Isaiah's head. Whatever happens with the test, she said quietly, I want you to know, I never wanted money. I never wanted to hurt you. I just wanted him safe. Ross held her gaze. And I want the truth. All of it. The elevator groaned once more, then slowly began to move. The cables had held. Help was coming. 45 minutes later, they sat in a private medical suite. Ross had called in every favor he had. The facility was discreet, the staff professional, and the results would be ready within the hour. Isaiah sat on Lena's lap, playing with a small toy the nurse had given him. He seemed unaware of the tension surrounding him, the fate being decided in quiet voices and nervous glances. Victoria paced near the door. This is insane. You're risking everything for a woman who abandoned you. I didn't abandon him, Lena said quietly. I was protecting him. Both of them. Ross watched his son play. The way Isaiah concentrated. The way he held the toy. Everything about the boy felt familiar. Why didn't you fight? He asked Lena. You could have told me anyway. Ignored the threats. Lena's eyes glistened. Your father was dying. You were fighting for your company. I was 24 years old, pregnant, scared, and the most powerful woman I'd ever met told me I would destroy the man I loved if I stayed. She took a shaky breath. I chose to disappear so you could survive. Maybe it was wrong. Maybe I should have trusted you to handle it. But I was young and I was terrified, and I made the only choice I thought I could live with. Ross was silent for a long moment. Then he asked, how did you manage? Alone? It wasn't easy, Lena admitted. But I had Isaiah. He gave me a reason to keep going. Every day, I looked at him and saw you, and I told myself that someday, maybe, things would be different. His phone buzzed. His mother. He declined the call. It buzzed again. And again. Finally, he answered. Mother. Ross. Victoria informed me of the situation. Whatever this woman has told you is a lie. If there is a child, we will handle it privately. Financially. But you will not acknowledge him publicly. Do you understand me? Ross watched Isaiah show Lena a trick with the toy. His small face lit up with pride. If he's mine, Ross said calmly, I'm claiming him. Today. Silence on the line. Ross, you will lose your position. Your board seat. Your inheritance. I will make sure of it. Then I lose it. He hung up. Victoria stared at him. You cannot be serious. The door opened. The lab technician entered, holding a sealed envelope. Ross stood. The room went silent. He took the envelope. Opened it. Read the results. Then he looked up at Lena. He's mine. Lena's hand flew to her mouth. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Ross crossed the room and knelt in front of Isaiah. Hey, buddy. Can I tell you something? Isaiah nodded solemnly. I'm your dad. Ross's voice broke. I know I haven't been around, but I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. Isaiah studied him for a long moment. Then he reached out and patted Ross's cheek. You look sad, the boy said. Ross laughed through his tears. I'm not sad anymore. Not even a little bit. Isaiah smiled. Good. Ross looked at Lena. She was crying openly now, years of fear and loneliness finally releasing. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you. Ross pulled her close. Isaiah pressed between them. We can't change the past, but we can choose what happens next. The door slammed open. His mother stood in the doorway, her presence filling the room like a winter storm. Ross Callahan. Step away from them right now. Ross didn't move. He kept his arms around Lena and Isaiah. No. His mother's eyes narrowed. You would throw away everything I built for you? For her? For a child you just met? Ross looked at Isaiah, at the son he'd missed 3 years with. At Lena, who had sacrificed everything to protect them both. Then he looked at his mother. You built a cage. You called it success. You called it legacy. But it was always about control. Ross, she warned. I spent my whole life making choices based on your expectations. Your standards. Your vision of who I should be. He stood, lifting Isaiah into his arms. The boy settled against him naturally, instinctively. This is my choice, Ross said. They are my family. And if you can't accept that, Then you need to leave. His mother's face went pale with fury. You will regret this. I will make sure you regret this. The only thing I regret, Ross said quietly, is not making this choice sooner. She turned and walked out without another word. Victoria lingered for a moment, her expression unreadable. Then she followed, her heels clicking against the floor until the sound faded to nothing. And then it was just the three of them. What now? Lena asked softly. Ross kissed Isaiah's forehead. Then he reached for Lena's hand. Now we go home. We start over. We do this together. Lena's fingers intertwined with his. Together. Isaiah yawned against Ross's shoulder, exhausted from the long, strange day. Come on, buddy, Ross said gently. Let's get you home. 1 year later, Ross Callahan stood in the backyard of their new house, watching Isaiah chase bubbles across the grass. The sun was setting, painting everything in shades of gold and pink. He was no longer CEO of Callahan Enterprises. His mother had made good on her threats. The board had voted him out. His inheritance was frozen in legal battles. He had started his own company instead. Smaller, humbler, built on his own terms with partners who valued integrity over image. Lena ran the community outreach division. She had a gift for it, for connecting with people, for seeing their potential when no one else could. And Isaiah? Isaiah had started preschool last month. He told everyone he met that his dad was the best dad in the whole world. Ross felt arms wrap around him from behind. Lena rested her chin on his shoulder. Happy? She asked. Ross watched his son laugh as a bubble landed on his nose. I didn't know what happy was, he said honestly. Not until this. Lena kissed his cheek. Neither did I. Isaiah ran toward them, arms outstretched. Daddy, catch me. Ross scooped him up, spinning him in a circle while the boy shrieked with delight. This was his life now. Not boardrooms and quarterly reports. Not power plays and inheritance battles. This, the laughter of his son, the warmth of the woman he loved, the home they had built together. This was worth everything he had lost. This was worth more. If this story touched your heart, I want you to do something for me right now. Hit that subscribe button and join the Residential Stories family. We share stories that matter, stories about love, courage, second chances, and choosing what really matters in life. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you have made the same choice Ross did? Would you have given up everything for your family? Thank you so much for watching. I'm Residential Stories, and I'll see you in the next one.